Let's see what I can do here. Well, I tell you what, after last weekend in WWE 75, ushered a new era with EC3 winning the NWA World Championship and Kenzie Page and Pretty Empire now ruling the women's division, as we just are finally 6 days removed from the biggest event in wrestling history. Damn it! As we saw what a rise and who made an impact and who is to come along the way, as we saw Impact emerge as they continue their way towards Impact 1000 and Victory Road. This weekend, we go all out in Chicago, but that's not all, as we're going to go hit the Steel City for a little bit of subtleness in sports entertainment as we talk about quite a cool down here with welcome everybody to Saturday Night Raw. Oh, wait, that's not right. Welcome everybody to WWE Payback. But I digress. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a very simple session of Simply Predicting this time. You know what this is, for I'm the simple man of the simple brand and the voice of the JMN. And my name is Noah Foster. With me tonight is a simple trilogy of panelists as we come together to discuss this show, the first of 2 shows, this coming weekend off what probably was the biggest weekend in the wrestling industry history. I have, of course, with me here, the renegade of Payback, of WWE. He was formerly of the Elite, but that's not what we're about to talk about tonight unless you all super chat about it. CEO of Cast AV Studios, JJ Williams, and of course, the guy that participates in all the leagues, and one of my fellow horsemen of predictions. And yes, I will have an updated leaderboard after this weekend because work's been insane. Christopher Rotz. And again, folks, if you want to dig into the conversation, super chat at Cast AV Studios because I'm not monetized. Maybe that's a goal I'll pursue someday, but I'm just here to have fun, support my friends, and engage positive reinforcement in the wrestling industry. But please, if you want to dig the conversation, super chat, simple as that. And again, thank you for everyone that tuned in. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend, let people know what we do here across the distribution multiverse of media. That being said, before we get into tonight's festivities, JJ, good to see you. We finally hit Friday. We got a nice, simple weekend of cool down, I would say, with the shows that are ahead. But it's been a moment since we talked WWE since SummerSlam. So how you feeling about WWE Payback, and how you feeling overall?
You know, it's interesting because over this last week, I would say it's been a bit of a come down. It's been kind of like wrestling withdrawals. You've been coming off of that high that was last weekend with NWA 75, All In, Emergence. And now I feel like that junkie that needs his next fix. And at the end of the day, we're looking at C-list pay-per-views from both companies.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way that these shows are going to be on the level of what we saw last weekend.
No.
Period.
Not at all.
Try as they may. And, you know, I said it about All In. TK and the matches that he books usually end up being pretty good matches. Even if on paper they look like shit.
Yep.
Even if the build-up is hot garbage, like Marjorie the Trash Heap. They usually end up deliver once the 2, 4, 25 competitors step into the ring.
Right.
WWE isn't that consistent.
No.
I love WWE. For the most part, I would consider myself Team WWE over Team AEW. I don't get into the tribalistic bullshit, but if I had to pick a side, I would say I probably lead more towards the WWE.
And I'm
but
the
they're not.
opposite.
I know.
Yep.
But they're nowhere near as consistent.
No.
And this show just reeks of desperation. There is maybe one match that really has my interest.
That's fair. I think,
and I don't even remember what every match is. That's the other problem.
Damn.
That's the other problem.
Let me just go ahead and play this in the name of the late, great Bob Barker then. But stop that. Damn it. It looped. I forgot to turn loop off. Botch, my bad. But I think that's fair, but I digress. But meanwhile, the price is right because it is only less than $10 if you're a subscriber on Peacock. But that being said, we're not playing prices right. Again, R.I.P. Bob Barker. I'm never watching the show again.
But I am still happy to be here to engage with you and Chris and discuss this card. So
yeah, and we got
let's
a simple
go.
panel. Yeah, we got a simple panel for a simple show. So there you go. That being said, Chris, good to see you as always, bro. How are you feeling, man, about WWE Payback and really what JJ perfectly summed up? It is a cool down of a weekend from last week's insanity of a weekend, to say the least.
Well, I'm looking forward to this show. Personally, I'm gonna give this a solid 10 out of 10 because the reason I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 is because I am going to be there live tomorrow night at WWE Payback, and I'm ready for it. My first appearance in PPG Paints Arena was back in 2018 for Extreme Rules. Then 2019, I saw Monday Night Raw. 2021, I saw a live event toward the return of fans. 2022, Kurt Angle's birthday. 2023 of this year, Road to WrestleMania, and now WWE Payback. I am ready to go to PPG Paints Arena tomorrow and show my love to WWE and just celebrate the whole entire night. It's going to be an awesome night. Good luck to everybody that's competing tomorrow on Payback and predictions. And always say yes to NoDQ.com.
Okay, let me ask you this, Chris, real quick, because I totally understand your excitement level, the fact that you're going to be there. Remove that part from the equation, just looking at the card on paper. How does the card look to you? What would you give it?
There you go.
On the card itself, I'll give it I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
Okay. Still higher than I would give it, but that's fair because he did remove the hype of him being there. So
yeah,
I respect that. I respect that. You know, different strokes for different folks.
Hey, that's a classic quote. And not that we're Dr. Seuss, not that we're trying to write a book. But that being said, Nathan, good to see you. And before I rhyme more than Max Caster spits on the mic, I'm just going to say this. At the end of the day, we are fans. This subterranean, and I call it that because it's underground bullshit. This egomaniacal, self-entitled, or righteous identity that you are this if you're not this, or you are that if you are that. We are all fans and should be treated, respected, recognized, and appreciated and gather as such. Because it doesn't matter where you land, what generation, we have all engaged and enjoyed in some capacity professional wrestling, no matter what buzzwords you want to use for it, which of course for the longest time have been sports entertainment. Either way, we are all fans of our own design, and that's why this weekend is simply going to be all right. So without further ado, gentlemen, great to see you both here once again. I don't have Fox, which is why I choose to do this during SmackDown. He's on the West Coast. DVR exists. This is simple fun. Let's get right into it.
I do have one question for you.
Yes.
You made the comment about Max Caster.
Yes.
We are a trio here. Do we need our own acclaimed trios championships that can scissor themselves? Like, do we need to get those replicas for the three of us?
Oh, Lord. That is the most hilarious, creative, crazy idea I've ever seen in my life. But, Jay Evan! Simply Predicting has arrived. Scissor me, panelists. It got weird. All right.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is you mentioned professional wrestling. You mentioned sports entertainment.
Yes.
For the last 23 years at least, I've just looked at it as strictly entertainment. It's not sports entertainment. It's not professional wrestling. It's just entertainment. I look at the 3 hours on Monday, the 2 hours Tuesday, the 2 hours Wednesday, the 3 hours on Friday, if you count Rampage and SmackDown together, the 2 hours on Saturday, the PLEs, as no different as to when I walk into the multiplex, pay down my $5, my $7, my $10, and I watch the newest movie in theaters. It is just entertainment.
I respect that. And that's truly a simple identity for a very unique and splittively fickle fan base of an industry. I absolutely respect that. I think for me, I've always just called it that because it's just always the word I've used. And when I look at this, it's like John Mossy says in his book, it truly encompasses everything. Whether you call it, like you said, entertainment, sports entertainment, pro wrestling, no matter what, there is some sort of niche from every sort of genre of ways to gather someone's attention in this industry in some capacity. And that's the beauty of it, but also that might be the freaking fickleness of it too. But again, at the end of the day, I simply say this, and that's going to be the banner from now on going forward, then, now, and forever. Forever grateful for pro wrestling, because I just like saying professional wrestling, damn it, but I digress. All right, gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, this is a very simple card to be Payback. Chris, have an incredible time. We currently have 6 matches booked here. Possibly a 7th might come to fruition based on what sort of effect we get from this. So let's go ahead and briefly talk about the Grayson Waller effect that will have this time as guest the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And you do see down in the bottom right-hand corner, folks, yes, me and JJ will be on the call as part of the Different Modes via live watching events. We will be covering WWE Payback. It should be some fun. So, simply put, I will put this question to you first, JJ, since we've talked about the story of Cody Rhodes and what it has become and what it still could be thereof. Out of this segment, what could be the latest development on the road to the WWE Championship for Cody Rhodes? And could you see an impromptu match made the same night for Grayson Waller or possibly after tomorrow night?
As far as long-term towards the championship, the jury is still out on that. What I see happening in this segment is I see a man who is supposed to make his long-awaited return to SmackDown tonight.
Right.
A man who has a doctorate in a certain form of nomics. A man who cannot be seen coming down to the ring during this segment and possibly launching a Cena Rhodes feud for the time while he's here. We've only got Cena until mid to late October. We need to make the most of him while we can. What better way to help elevate Cody back to the main event picture than a feud with and a defeat over John Cena?
Beginning a win over the former 16-time world champion, who at the end of the day, people still wonder, would he actually be back and one day pursue, if not accomplish, number 17? Or maybe go after impromptu, maybe put Gunther over because he never got the Intercontinental Championship. Then again, Sheamus never did either. So yeah, it's one of those things we don't know what's next for Cena. But go ahead.
I don't think Gunther is the target. Otherwise, he'd be coming back to Raw, not SmackDown. Granted, brand split, LOL.
Yes.
But he would be returning on Raw and not SmackDown. Plus, if he went after Gunther, fans would be pissed that Sheamus didn't get the Grand Slam and Cena just walks right in and gets it.
Yeah.
They'd shit all over him.
Yeah.
So we don't want that. As far as number 17, I've been talking about this with a few of my friends. Where does Cena fit in the title picture right now?
Nowhere.
Exactly. Roman's on hiatus. You got to figure he's looking to the bloodline, and Cody's trying to get back to him still somehow, some way. So that takes care of Roman.
Yes.
Over on Raw, you've got Seth. You've got Nakamura this weekend, tomorrow. You've still got Balor clipping at his heels. You've got Priest with the briefcase. Doesn't fit in over there either. So if you just have him come in, hot shot him to a title, that makes Seth look weak. And Cena's not going to have a run that goes more than a month and a half.
If that.
What was the end game unless Priest cashes in and takes it off of him? That doesn't make any sense either. So right now, Cena really has no place in the main event picture. So you go into a feud with Cody.
Well, Cody
returned and fought Seth.
Right.
Cody returned and fought Roman.
Right.
After Roman, he fought Brock. Look at the caliber of talent that he's facing.
Main event.
He's not fighting. He's not fighting jabronis.
Jabroni.
And there's no bigger name in the past 20 years in the WWE. We're 15 minutes in than John fucking Cena.
Accurate, and also yes.
So I see this starting out as your typical Grayson Waller effect. Grayson kind of getting under Cody's skin. Cena coming out to kind of play superhero, Super Cena, make the save. Cody may be kind of taking a little bit of an exception to that. Cody feeling like, I really need to find out if I am worthy of being at this level and challenging Cena to a test. Figure we've got to be hitting the season premiere of SmackDown here shortly.
Yes.
September is usually season premiere time. So there's match number 2. And you do match number 3 at the October pay-per-view. Fastlane. That way the feud can start to fizzle out before Cena has to leave.
I mean, Fastlane would actually make sense then in context by name, because I still wonder why the hell you booked Fastlane in the middle of fall when it's the Fastlane to nothing, but it could be the Fastlane to Cody trying to get back to the goal for his family, not the same dumb meme that's been turned into from the phrase finish that story. So that's an interesting point. And again, you're never going to see John Cena heel, but you could see Cody tested from morale standpoint, like he has been in the past. So that's a very interesting fact that could happen here. But then Grayson Waller's basically missed this point, who just basically adds to a storyline, doesn't necessarily be part of one himself. And the fact that he already has had that one-on-one encounter with one John Cena at Money in the Bank, and also has been in the ring with Edge. Yeah, I can see it. But honestly, also, Brent with LL, they might literally just create Cody Rhodes versus Grayson Waller just to add some sort of effect in the meantime. But that's a fair point. Chris, what's your thoughts towards all that? What could you see come out of Grayson Waller effect? And could this possibly lead to John Cena and Cody Rhodes being maybe, honestly, short-term fall program?
Well, I know you guys brought about John Cena. He's also is being rumored that he's going to be hosting WWE Payback tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's not Boston, Massachusetts.
But what you guys are talking about with the Grayson Waller, Cody Rhodes, I understand you guys want Cody and John Cena. I could see that happening, or maybe you could do Grayson Waller attacks Cody Rhodes and Austin Theory comes out, because you've been getting Austin Theory, Grayson Waller teaming up a little bit, and they're going to be facing Rey and Santos on SmackDown. I have a gut feeling you have Austin and Grayson beat down Cody Rhodes. You bring John Cena in after that's during the segment. And this is the thing. I would have a tag team match with Cody and John Cena versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, instead of doing the singles match with Cody versus John. But overall, I see a tag match, or we might get John versus Cody possibly at Fastlane.
One phrase I think that I can't say for sure about this, I don't think a match the same night is going to develop from this, because again, Payback is ... mid. Simple as that. But either way, it should lead to something interesting. if anything else needs to be implied by the name, there has to be some sort of key development for Cody Rhodes' fall. Because at this point, I don't see Cody Rhodes going after the Fiora Rhodes Show World Heavyweight Championship of Monday Night Raw. Just saying. All right. Well, now that we talk, I can't believe we spent that much time talking about a segment versus a match. What the heck is wrong with us? Let's go ahead and actually talk about wrestling matches. And we'll go ahead and talk about this one because at the end of the day, do you guys still try to buck up against Mommy? Because now she's got the baddest woman with the broadest back coming after her championship. And Mommy wants to lead by example for the Judgment Day. There's a reason why I call this Saturday Night Raw. Am I wrong? You tell me. But look at this match, because for the first time since my NXT, damn it! But I digress. When they faced each other in Last Woman Standing and Raquel sent Rhea off to main roster world, it is now completely bizarre world, upside down, the roles completely the opposite. At least her smile's gone, even though this graphic looks very blasé. It's Rhea Ripley defending the, what they call it, WWE Women's Heavyweight Championship, whatever yin yang it is, against Raquel Rodriguez. Now, this match, simply put, was developed from an injury angle. After that, we thought this match was going to be maybe at SummerSlam, and neither one was on the show. Just saying. And now we got the match where she has literally attacked Rhea Ripley every chance she could, not only on Raw, but NXT, including surprising the hell out of us, JJ, during our call of Heat Wave, where freaking Rhea Ripley and Dominic lost to Liv Morgan and Dragon Lee. That, I'll admit, that actually surprised me. Good job, Shawn Michaels. But that being said, guys, let's look at her defenses. She's had 2, and one of them was less than 2 minutes. All right? She isn't losing the title here. At the end of the day, you don't have a stronger force with bigger character appeal, and that's key for Monday Night Raw, just saying. Then Rhea Ripley right now. She's literally leading the Judgment Day narrative as far as the future direction goes, and she is the key champion of the group. If it wasn't for her, Dominic wouldn't be champion. There, I said it. Bottom line, keep it short, sweet, and simple. And then Chris going to use since JJ started the conversation on the other thing. I simply have Mommy retaining the gold belt for Judgment Day. And then Finn Balor and Damien Priest, pressure is on you. Chris, your thoughts on this match?
My thoughts is I'm keeping it short and sweet. I'm going to go with my mama, my precious mama.
Oh, the leg.
I'm going with Rhea Ripley to retain the Women's World Championship. And personally, I see Rhea Ripley keeping the Women's World Championship all the way up until WrestleMania. That is where she is going to lose the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. And I'm going to make a bold prediction here. The winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble is going to be Liv Morgan. Why I say Liv Morgan for is because there's long-term storytelling with Rhea and Liv. It all started when Rhea turned her back on Liv Morgan. Rhea is the reason Liv and her broke up. Rhea is also the reason she injured Liv Morgan. Well, there's payback and there's revenge on Rhea Ripley. Liv is going to win the Royal Rumble. Liv is going to become the new Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. And Liv is going to be the reason Rhea Ripley lost her championship at WrestleMania.
That's an interesting long-term storytelling, considering it did come down to those last 2 women also, JJ. You and I called the Women's Royal Rumble match where Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan ran the field 1 and 2 respectfully. And to be fair, Liv Morgan has capitalized in the moment when she got Money in the Bank. So add another accolade to her young career, a Royal Rumble winner and a WrestleMania main eventer. Some are main eventer because they still haven't put the women in the main event spot. That being said, yeah, the result on paper is obvious, but the direction is still very cloudy. More cloudy than that CGI graphic Judgment Day gets, which I still find very stupid. So, JJ, I know we threw names around, particularly the man Becky Lynch, but also I think about Shayna Baszler and also the history Shayna and Rhea had in NXT. Heck, Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. And funny enough, what did Rhea get this year? A 3-year-long journey accomplishment in beating the Queen that beat her for the NXT Championship at WrestleMania. So, Liv Morgan's a fair shout. I would like to see Shayna Baszler personally get that spot. But let's also focus on Raquel here, because Raquel, how was she brought into the main roster of WWE? She took on Ronda Rousey in her debut. That's how much stock they were putting into her. And then they reduced her to just tag teaming. Now we're finally going to get the non-smiling, probably the second strongest woman in WWE that has a height basically that matches Rhea Ripley, if not slightly surpasses her. And this is her first key singles championship showing. So bottom line, I think Rhea is retaining, like we said. But JJ, what's your thoughts on this with the Raquel getting this big chance and the idea of Liv Morgan maybe being brought back in? I mean, Liv Morgan was her tag team partner, and Liv Morgan, I think, is out injured. So he might have it. He might be on to something, honestly. But the floor is yours, JJ.
I've been racking my brain about this one the most because I love mommy.
Who doesn't?
I love Rhea. I popped hardcore for her when she won at WrestleMania.
We both did.
But gentlemen,
yes,
what has she done since winning the title?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So wouldn't it make sense to further the damaged cracks in the foundation of the Judgment Day for her to lose the title? And Liv Morgan has long-term storytelling with Raquel Rodriguez as well.
Yes.
Going back to Chris's thing, she can still win the Rumble. Her and Raquel celebrate until Liv decides that she wants to challenge her for the belt at WrestleMania. Because Raquel succeeded while Liv was out on injury. Little jealousy here. That was Liv's push. That should have been Liv getting these matches. But Raquel got them.
Well, we have seen Liv gone crazy before to a degree. Watch me.
And if I'm also being honest, I'm tired of the 4 horsewomen in the scene. So I think the next major challenger to the belt needs to be someone a little bit more out of left field. Perhaps somebody who's competing across from the man in a steel cage match at Payback.
Trish?
Yeah.
So Trish not necessarily done with WWE, but done with the rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And based on choice.
And then what does that do to Raquel if she can beat Trish?
Raises her stock even more.
Long-term storytelling.
And this is why this is the guy that leads those 3 words the best in the championship versus Mia. Nice try, Chris.
And even if Trish is able to dethrone, she's got her own prodigy who wants that belt.
Zoe Stark. Yeah. She's been in
So you've got a whole melting pot here. That isn't even really scratching the surface of these matches because you're not going to put Trish versus Rhea.
No.
You're not going to put Zoe versus Rhea.
No.
You need to get the belt off of Rhea to have these matches.
Right. Because the heel face.
Raquel Rodriguez walks out of Payback your new women's champion, gentlemen.
That's an interesting, bold prediction.
But it makes a lot of sense because we are literally seeing the fall of Judgment Day, possibly before our eyes at this very mid PLE that needs something to take away from it into the fall season. And Judgment Day has ran roughshod overall for the better part of a year. And Rhea's been the one dominating and leading by example. If she can't do it, and she's the one that says changes are coming to Judgment Day if you all can get the job done, what does it mean if Mommy can get the job done? And how does this affect Mommy and Dominic's dynamic, with Dominic still having the NXT North American Championship? Again, are we basically booking or prophesizing the breakup, the fall of Judgment Day? Judgment comes for Judgment Day and finds them not in favor. And it could start with this match right here, honestly. Again, that's a very bold take, especially for a show of this name.
And let me ask you this, but aside from Becky and Raquel, what other major female baby faces are there on Raw? I'll wait.
I got nothing.
We just named off a shit ton of heels.
You did. You absolutely did. And they haven't built nobody up in any capacity as far as the babyface goes, even though they got the likes of Indy Hartwell, who I think had one Raw match and got squashed immediately.
Same with Candice. Same with Natalya.
Nikki Cross.
That's why I said major.
Right. But
because those are peripheral babyface women.
Right.
But they're not major players.
The only one I could consider a major player if she's called up is Roxanne Perez. And maybe that's the reason why she went. Okay, hold on. First off, timeout. I'm good.
And that's if and when.
Why is it heel versus heel then for your NXT Women's Championship? I'm just saying.
Again? Say that again.
Why is it heel versus heel for your NXT Women's Championship? Why did Kiana James win that 4-way?
That's a good question.
I'm just saying.
Because I was blown away by that too. I thought it was going to be Gigi or Roxy. It should have been Gigi, but considering it's a heel champion, I was expecting Gigi or Roxy. I was giving no chance to the heels.
Logic in WWE. You can't put in.
Do they have something planned for Kiana that we don't know about?
I haven't seen not an iota idea of a businesswoman being a babyface in your NXT. So, again,
or do they have something planned for Tiffany that we don't know about?
Does she really need?
Because fans seem to be really responding to her.
Well, she is.
Tiffy time seems to be getting over really big. Tiffy time is almost as over in my NXT as Mr. Yeah is on the roster.
Fair enough.
It's a bold comparison, but it's getting there.
Well, I would talk to you, but I feel like
it's getting there organically, just like LA Knight did.
Yeah. Well, I would talk to you more about that, but you literally know this man before he got the WWE moniker, so I feel it's only fitting that you lead this. But great conversation about women's wrestling, and Impact Wrestling is still the best. Great conversation about women's wrestling and the illogical booking there is. This, however, I cannot believe how logical the booking's been for this match, because I gotta be honest, this is probably my second most excited match of the night, because you have the A-lister, the megastar, get on the gravy train as we talk about the Kavorka that is LA Knight. Yeah! Taking on the Miz. But not gonna lie, the promos, the dynamic, the freaking Miz cosplay of LA Knight was bloody damn brilliant.
Absolutely.
And I said on freaking with Aaron, what is Miz but the guy to test you both in the ring and on the mic? LA Knight has both tools of the trade, but the Miz strengthens those tools in each way. So, JJ, your thoughts on this very interesting first time ever one-on-one grudge match with two massive egos that deliver both in the ring and on the mic. Do you got the Miz or do you got LA Knight?
Well, I think it comes without saying that I've got Mr. L.A. Knight. But you basically took everything I was going to say. You know, The Miz is that bar. He's that stepping stone. He is that, character that Dolph Ziggler was 10 years ago.
Exactly.
You want to know if somebody can hang on the main roster, you give them to The Miz. 10 years ago, you gave him to Dolph Ziggler. 10 years before that, you gave him to Bob Holly.
Ooh, that's fair.
Think about it. Who did Orton face in his first match? Who did Cody Rhodes face in his first match? He was that testing. The Miz has got the athleticism. He's a former two-time champ. He's a former two-time Grand Slam champion. He is one of the best to rock the microphone. He is the A-lister. He is Mr. Hollywood. He is one of us. Because at the end of the day, he's a fan who went on a reality show, got lucky, and made a career out of this, and has been doing it for 20 years now, damn near. If you can believe it.
It's crazy when you think about it.
After being told you don't belong here, you don't deserve to carry my bags. And he's got better accolades than some of the Hall of Famers in the WWE.
Yep.
Shawn Ricker, LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, is going to take this match. He's going to go over big. But part of his going over big is going to be because The Miz is going to make him look like the megastar that he is.
Yeah, I mean, again, very simple, fair analysis. I mean, again, this is the guy that I said the last time I cared about the Intercontinental Championship, it was because of The Miz, and he literally held it through the fall season in a feud against Dolph Ziggler that culminated, I believe, even being main evented by the two men. So, again,
and this is the match that I am looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, me too.
Think about that for a minute. Not the world title. Not the cage match with the women. This match. What does that say about the booking of this show? Go ahead, Noah, with what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, I mean, I haven't called it mid, but now I'm calling it flawed. And again, it's one of those things where I talk about it all the time. You know how much I've followed this man's career throughout Impact, NWA. You all talked about even before then. And then, of course, it came into my NXT network era. Oh, good grief almighty. And then, of course, somehow he's been able to find his way on the main roster. Thank you, Triple H. So, again, do I need to say anything else? And just so we aren't doing the same thing every match here, Chris, simply put, because this is going to be a simple yes or no, do you believe that The Miz is not only awesome, but wins here, or are you also going along with LA Knight?
Well, I'm keeping it short and sweet here. I'm going with LA Knight for the win.
Yeah.
They've been pushing him so hard. They're taking it step by step with LA Knight, and personally, his push is just the beginning. And I'm going to tell you this. I personally believe this could be the opening match tomorrow at Payback. LA Knight versus The Miz. You open the show up with these two, and you put on one heck of a match.
I could see that with the crowd being at their hottest, because at the end of the day, the biggest pop of the night is going to be LA Knight. But I also do think about this being mid. You need something to bring the crowd into life. Hello, Evanescence. I don't think this needs to be the opener, but it damn sure needs to be in the right spot.
I think the opener is either going to be the tag title match between the Judgment Day versus KO and Sammy. That way the Judgment Day opens and closes the show.
Ding.
Or I think it's going to be Mysterio in Theory to open the show.
because again, I do wonder if that angle is going to play out. So again,
We will be finding out this evening. Once again, no SmackDown spoilers.
yep, as we are hashtag spoiler free here on the Simple Brand, as we are just simply predicting the next PLE that WWE plans. And they're still probably planning, for all we know, probably trying to rip apart the script and rewrite it. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of ripping things apart, good luck ripping Steel apart, because Chris, let's go ahead and get your initial thoughts on this match as we just talked about a moment ago. Will the rivalry finally end with some satisfaction, or once again do you support and stand alongside the man? And will she escape or finally put down this legend without a thank you? It's Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus inside a steel cage in the Steel City. How fitting. And bottom line is this: it is literally their second freaking true one-on-one match under extreme circumstances. After what happened going all the way back to Night of Champions, here we are, and hopefully this is the last saga, because I'm tired of this Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus limbo rivalry. It needs to end. Thank you and good night. Chris, your thoughts on this steel cage match? Who do you got winning?
Well, personally, I felt this build to this match, I just wasn't into it. And I know why this was not on the SummerSlam card. It didn't have enough build to it. It was just on the downside, and I feel I was getting bored with the Trish Becky match. Personally, I feel the match is going to deliver tomorrow inside the steel cage. I'm giving you a facts here. This is going to be my second steel cage match that I am going to be seeing in Pittsburgh. My first one was at Extreme Rules 2018 when I saw Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman in 2018. And personally, when Braun put Kevin Owens through that table, oh my gosh, I was stunned. And personally, I hope I see that happen again tomorrow. But knowing it might not happen. But with the involvement with Zoe Starks, I feel Zoe is going to play a big factor into this match. And personally, my prediction is Becky Lynch has to beat Trish Stratus tomorrow. And I feel you have Zoe on Trish's side. You're gonna need someone to come at Becky Lynch's side. And I bet you any money that tomorrow night we see the return of Lita. I think tomorrow Lita returns because Trish took out Lita during that segment when Trish stepped in to be Becky's tag partner for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And it could all culminate if the numbers game is too much for Becky to handle, you have Lita show up, the numbers game will be even, and you have Becky defeat Trish tomorrow night. And personally, maybe you could do a fast lane Becky Lynch and Lita versus Zoe Starks and Trish Stratus. Or if you want to go with the Trish Rhea match for the Women's World Championship, go right ahead. But overall, Becky Lynch wins tomorrow, and Becky's next feud is going to be with the NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton.
Going with that whole idea, JJ, possibly getting your NXT titles on main event PLEs, but we'll talk more about that later. All right, fair point, Chris. Before I give it to JJ, shout out to Psycho Jet Black in the chat with the $1 super chat. Greatly appreciated, sir. And again, folks, you want to dig through the conversation, super chat as simple as that. I know you can't give a question with that, but Psycho Jet Black, I encourage you, if you do have something non-spoiler on your mind that you might want us to talk about, please let us know. We greatly appreciate it. All right, JJ, do you agree that Becky Lynch finally ends this feud inside the steel cage, simply put?
Simply put, yes. I feel like Becky Lynch is going to win the match tomorrow, but I feel like Trish and Zoe are going to win the war tomorrow. I feel like there's going to be some post-match shenanigans, post-match beatdown, something to take Becky out so that we can still move Trish and Zoe on to bigger, better things.
Ah, I see. They said they get the message, even though they are rendered the loser. Well, it would be the first time that had happened. What happened with Damage Control and Becky? The match never happened, and at the end of the day, it was Damage Control that got the better of the man that night. And then, of course, we saw that continue that feud, but Becky did win in the end. So I could see that, but again, we'll have to wait and see because this whole idea of Trish challenging for a championship. She's going to need something behind her to have any sort of leverage besides her legend status quo. I bet you no one's going to give her a thank you for it. All right, good stuff.
And I mean, Lita coming back, that's a fair shout. I know a lot of people are trying to will Lita back into existence.
Yeah, clearly.
There's actually somebody in NXT that could come up to help out Becky also. That maybe, while not a Pittsburgh native, does have some history in the Pennsylvania area as she became the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Champion in Philadelphia.
Roxanne Perez.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Again, are they going to pull that trigger, though? I'm just saying.
Could be why she didn't win the match on Tuesday.
We've been talking about it. The prodigy rises to promise in her name. Is WWE
We heard
ready?
about potential call-ups post SummerSlam.
Yep.
She didn't win the 4-way match on Tuesday.
Nope.
Could this be part of why? The world may never know.
Well, we will know come tomorrow because we're gonna watch the show. And while we'll never learn how many licks it takes to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop, I think we do know one thing. Becky Lynch needs to end this point blank simple.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of things that you think might need to end, might actually need to begin, JJ, let's talk about your guy. Because is it A-Town down once again for the U.S. Championship? Because it seems like he's synonymous with it, and this has become the Hot Potato Championship in WWE. But also
the TNT
whole
title.
Well, let's not go there. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Stay tuned, folks, for AEW All Out. I got it right. AEW All Out, predicting that will be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ahead of me and JJ's call for Payback. But let's go ahead and talk about the United States Championship, which at the end of the day, I really do still wonder, what the heck are they doing with this title? But your boy was the previous owner of it, so he has officially put in his contractually obligated one-on-one rematch clause. And so he's got it at Payback. So, in the City of Steel, will A-Town Down once again become, I think now I've lost count, the third time? United States champion, JJ.
See, I still question why in the flying you-know-what Rey Mysterio got this belt in the first place. Everything was being built to where Santos Escobar should have become the champion. And then Rey Mysterio just kind of swooped in there and stole the push from Santos. And while in the moment, Santos was happy for his friend.
There's that F word again.
I may not have watched him long in my NXT, but Santos Escobar does not like playing second fiddle to anybody.
Accurate.
Just ask the Don, Tony D'Angelo. But I wonder if Santos is going to turn on Rey, costing him the title here, giving Theory his third reign until Santos can dethrone him himself, whether it's at Fastlane or Survivor Series. But I also think that there would be something better storyline wise if Santos dethroned Ray.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Ray to retain here, and then possibly Santos can attack him post-match.
It's one of those things that I could say I want to see as being a slow burn. You talk about yourself at the time, long-term storytelling. Remember, Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio had a sit down together where Rey passed off his mask to Santos Escobar, the former heel Del Fantasma, who took his mask off in the first place when he arrived in my NXT and created Legado del Fantasma, which might add still a thing. They're just now all part of the Latino World Order. That's a whole different conversation for another day. And for the longest time, I've been waiting on a heel versus face program with Rey Mysterio or Santos Escobar since he arrived back on the scene. Rey Mysterio particularly, because of Mysterio return. Let's just put that perspective. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you. There has to be some sort of merit towards Santos Escobar becoming a U.S. champion, but he has to be the opposite contrast wherever he's facing. If he's supporting, quote unquote, Rey Mysterio, then there has to be, Eddie Guerrero, underhanded tactics and a game plan. And in order for that to be executed, and I do think it's the bigger money match if we're going to do big business, then Chris, I think you probably agree with us and think that Rey has to retain, right?
I'm agreeing with all you guys. Rey, he won the championship from Austin Theory, and this was WWE's plans all along to give Rey Mysterio the United States Championship over Santos. And personally, I think Rey is going to definitely retain. I do maybe see this feud continuing with Rey, Austin, and Santos. Maybe we get this at Fastlane, maybe a triple threat.
Oh, Lord.
Or you could do it at the Saudi Arabia show on November 4th. But Survivor Series, I don't see, because I think we're going to be seeing Rey Mysterio challenging Gunther at Survivor Series, champion versus champion. That's going to be taking place. But I think Rey is retaining, and I personally see Rey keeping that championship up until WrestleMania. And we're going to have Santos Escobar face Rey in Mania. And Santos is going to be the one to dethrone Rey for the United States Championship. And this might be Rey Mysterio's final match in WWE.
Truly passing the torch up to Santos Escobar, and he is a Hall of Famer, so that's a fair point. Plus, the city of Brotherly Love, what you think are brothers finally coming together, facing one another. That's long-term storytelling, but again, you are challenging the WWE to actually give you 7 months of this. Just saying. Hello, Bloodline. That being said, yeah, again, at this point, I don't want to see the United States Championship relegated to hot potato status quo. That's all I really have to say about this. All right, we again, he talked about it. I'm just saying, no title in the industry should be hot potato. That's all I gotta say. Simply put, that's all I gotta say. Otherwise, why does the title exist? Might as well be you participated. All right. Now, speaking of titles that you participated, physical appearance aside, I'll give this match merit where merit's due. JJ, you were talking about earlier, storytelling, fallout, maybe you literally creating the end narrative. Let's see how you end this, because I think it's final judgment for one particular individual, if you ask me. As the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships are on the line, and it is now known as a Steel City Street Fight. Expect a lot of trash cans and steel chairs. As Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, not in PWG, but still represent, defend the gold against the Mr. Senor Money in the Bank. I know I just did double name. Just go along with it. Damian Priest and the guy that has lost now to Seth Rollins 3 times under World Heavyweight Championship circumstances. Damn it. Finn Balor. And yet the Prince doesn't miss. He's missed 3 times in a row. Is this the 4th? And again, who has more to gain? Who's the pressure on? Who still is protected strong post-match? I'm just saying. JJ, the floor is yours. With the state of KO and Sami Zayn from a physical standpoint. Hey, open mic night topic, folks. Go check that out, by the way. We talk about the extent of the mentality versus injuries. Do you see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn still leaving your undisputed WWE tag team champions, or has Judgment Day arrived for them?
Champs retain. Simple as that. I mean, I really wanted the Judgment Day to take the straps. As happy and ecstatic as I was for Sami and KO at Mania, because much like Rhea, I don't feel like they've really done much with them since they got out of the program with the Usos.
I think you're right.
So it's like let's move these belts along to somebody that's going to do something with them. But you've got the cracks in the foundation of the Judgment Day. Judgment Day is literally crumbling on Monday nights.
Yep.
It's you either have them take the titles and they strengthen the foundation, or they lose and everything crumbles around them.
Which way?
And with the final piece in the weight scale being one JD McDonough, and which way is everything going to tip? You've got to figure that Sami and KO retain. Finn and Priest combust. Mommy and Dom cannot keep them from fighting anymore. JD kind of hangs out in the corner with his maniacal laugh. And then we just roll on from there.
Yep, and I completely agree. And even King Mike echoes your sentiments. Sami and KO never had the proper chance to shine to win the belts. They had one impromptu defense against the Street Profits before. They're now making profits with the almighty Bobby Lashley and looking great while doing it. And then they had the impromptu tag title match against Roman Reigns and
Solo.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's how relevant that match was. At Night of Champions. And I don't think they've had another defense since, but they've been feuding with the likes of Imperium, which is basically the only other tag team they have on Monday Night Raw. And
which is who I want them to lose the belts to.
Same. But
I want Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser to represent with those silverish, gold, bronze, aluminum belts around their waist.
I want them to make them black leather, just like the Imperium Day, black and silver. For the mott is sacred.
As long as they don't have little scissors on the back so that they can scissor.
But look, we're not talking about that, all right? Because that broke my brother King from ATW, right? He broke when they said what those tiles were and what they are. The house of but I digress. That being said, yeah, don't bet.
Side tangent. How much money do you think they're going to make off of selling those replicas, though, dude? I'm just saying.
That is
because everybody loves the Acclaimed,
and that's a mic drop. And that being said, Chris, who also just gave the mic drop, I think also agrees with the consensus. I mean, is there anything more to say here, Chris? Again, Payback is literally the day of judgment. But Sami KO are retaining, right?
Yeah, I was been going back and forth on who I really won in this match. My heart, my mind was in two different places though this whole week, and I made up my mind. Yeah, I agree. Kevin and Sami, they are retaining the tag team champions, and this is going to be a Pittsburgh Steel City street fight. There is no disqualifications at all. So JD Madonna, Dirty Dom, Rhea, they could get involved. Maybe Cody Rhodes could help Kevin and Sammy lead them on into victory. But Cody, he's dealing with the Grayson Waller effect, so I don't know if he would do double duty on that. But overall, Kevin and Sammy, they are going to retain. And I know what you guys said about Imperium dethroning them. I don't see Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser dethroning them. I don't see Imperium dethroning them. The only team that I see taking off the straps of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano DIY and the Street Profits. And if I have to choose between one of those, I would go with the Street Profits dethroning Kevin and Sammy as tag team champions.
Considering the heel versus face, considering the heel versus face dynamic, and Ciampa is still looking for Johnny Gargano. Also, it's storming out here, so apologies, folks. There is a bit of latency. Technical difficulties. Colin, by the way, I hope that you are okay, brother. Look, I'll say this: DIY FTR was the pinnacle tag team feud of my NXT, but they're also baby faces, and usually when it's two same polarities, they don't necessarily work. That's why you have to have an opposite. So again, the New Street Profits is the first shout out because they were the first ones to challenge them in open challenge. But now instead of waiting on an open challenge, they might just take the challenge themselves, courtesy of the almighty Bobby Lashley after they get done with the brutes. So yeah, either way, KO and Sammy, they aren't losing. They aren't. At the end of the day, yeah, go ahead.
They're not losing. Not tomorrow night, but when was the last time DIY even teamed with each other? Like, are they even seriously a contention threat?
No, not at this point.
That's what I thought.
The last time they
whereas Gunther in a week will pass the honky tonky meter if he can get past Chad Gable on Raw.
He's got to. But
you don't think that they'll have him pass that and then have Imperium take the tag straps to just make them look that much more invincible?
For the mat is sacred.
I'm just saying, like, we know how Triple H looks at these guys. Like, I could see that being part of the celebration of passing the honky tonky meter. On Raw, the week after, they get a shot at KO and Sammy and dethrone them.
And Maxine Dupree joins Imperium because Ludwig Kaiser has been the influence in the career with his proper charm. Because you can't get the female power that I want to see from NXT part of the group and Lyra Valkyria, so I'll take Maxine Dupree.
Or even bringing up, Kaiser's legitimate girlfriend, Tiffany Stratton.
True, but she's NXT Women's Champion. Well, I mean, at this point, North America.
And that would just bring more gold to the stable. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong.
Dom is the North American champion. He's on Raw every freaking week.
Fair enough. And Becky might challenge Tiffany, so brand identity, LOL. Fair enough. All right. Well, this has been a nice talk. I hope everybody's enjoyed the conversation. Thank you again, CycleJet Black, for the super chat. Again, folks, you want to dip into the conversation. Super chat has as simple as that, as we are hashtag spoiler free. We've had a lot of fun here, and again, please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. But that being said, Chris, you asked for it to go first, so I'm just going to go ahead and get us right into it because it's been enough talk. And preferably speaking, it's the biggest title on Monday Night Raw. It might as well be the main event, even though it doesn't really seem like the biggest story. And again, Mr. Senor in the Bank. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Chris, and lead this one off as we wonder the state of Seth Rollins' back. And will it finally be fully attacked at the hands and feet of the King of Strong Style as Shinsuke Nakamura goes one-on-one against Seth freaking Rollins? for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And JJ, I don't know if you're aware of this. These two have not faced each other one-on-one since Survivor Series several years ago. And that was just based on brand supremacy. And Seth freaking Rollins was the winner that night. So, Chris, the floor is yours. Who do you have leaving as WWE World Heavyweight Championship? And not to make you think any harder, as now Sheriff Griff has made a bonus point, is this the night that Damian Priest finally ushers in an era of reckoning and cashes in also and becomes the champion? The floor is yours, Chris. Good luck.
Well, I remember this. Seth freaking Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura faced off at Survivor Series 2018.
Ding.
And they also had a match at Fastlane 2021 in the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, which many people forget for reasons, but continue.
And that had the feud with Seth freaking Rollins and Claudio Castagnoli that year for their match at WrestleMania. So this is a match that I'm looking forward to. Tomorrow is the world title. The last time I saw these two in Pittsburgh at a premium live event, Seth freaking Rollins was the main event, and he challenged Dolph Ziggler in an Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship. With Shinsuke Nakamura, he won the United States Championship against Jeff Hardy.
With a low blow.
But this is all about the story is Seth Rollins is back.
Yes.
How is Seth's back really that hurt in real life, though, or what?
It is legitimate. It is absolutely legitimate.
Well, it's legitimate hurt, and we don't know. He could go off and have surgery, or if he does, that might end his career. We don't really know about that, but his back is legitimate hurt. But he's putting on a show for everybody and putting smiles on our faces. With that being said, tomorrow night, I see Seth freaking Rollins winning and retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't see Shinsuke Nakamura winning this match at all. It sucks that WWE's not. Someday they're going to have to put a World Championship on Shinsuke, but not right now. As far as Senior Money in the Bank does go, would there be a cash-in? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say a yes because, number one, I haven't seen a cash-in live in person, and that is the reason I'm going with yes. Is he going to have a successful, or is he going to fail? He's going to fail the cash-in. I don't see Damian Priest walking out tomorrow as World Heavyweight Champion because the cracks are still going to be with the Judgment Day. And I think Finn Balor and JD Madonna are going to cost Damian Priest the match tomorrow for the World Champion if he cashes in. And then come Monday night, when we have the Judgment Day on Raw, Damian Priest is going to be the one to get kicked out of Judgment Day. And then you got Dirty Dom, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, and JD Madonna all with the Judgment Day. And personally, I see Finn and Damian, they're going to have a nice singles feud going on. While with Seth freaking Rollins, I think we're still going to get Rollins and Nakamura again. I just have a gut feeling it's going to happen.
All right, then. That's a interesting take. Before I give it to JJ, shout out to the Cleveland combatant, the Meltzer of the Multiverse, Josh Mansfield. If Judgment Day doesn't win the tag titles, Priest is wanting out a Payback as world heavyweight champion. So already counterpointing, but also doing a bit of domino affecting of Judgment Day's outcome at Payback, it seems, still having the greatest prize. Again, it's a twofold here. So at the end of Judgment Day, does Damian Priest catch it successfully? If the bell rings, does he succeed? Or is he cost inadvertently by maybe Finn Balor or JD? So there's a couple other things to think about.
Like,
So that's a very fair point by both of you.
Like, do you think Damian Priest, if he does become world champion, do you think the fans are going to get bored with him as champion?
No, because Damian Priest has been strongly booked as a character and as the president at Raw since honestly Backlash, and he lost that match. But there is that idea of credibility. And with the amount of losses, including one maybe earlier in the evening, how much does that affect his stock? People will invest in him as the world champion. And poor Shinsuke Nakamura lost to AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34 for the WWE Championship. Lost to fucking hell. Jinder Mahal 2017 SummerSlam, and I had to endure that year of bullshit. And right now, we're basically penciling him to lose here in 2023 for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Before I give it to JJ, oh, look at that. Some love. $5 super chat courtesy of Josh Mansfield. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that. JJ, the floor is yours. You talked about the story of Payback being the end of Judgment Day. So with this possibly being the main event, how do you end Judgment Day saga and Seth freaking Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match?
See, Chris made some valid points here.
He really did.
And I like where he's coming from on some of these things. The problem is that I don't know if I see Dom and Rhea going with Finn or with Priest. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is contingent on Senior Money in the Bank and whether he is successful or not. Because if he can be successful with his cash-in, why wouldn't you have the world champion, the North American champion, and the women's champion all together? And since Finn couldn't get the job done against Seth, couldn't get the job done with Priest against Sammy and KO, why would I want him in my stable? You go do your thing with your buddy JD.
If they are buddies.
So it's one of those things, you know. The sad part here in all this is Shinsuke Nakamura is an afterthought.
Yep.
Shinsuke Nakamura just turned heel a couple weeks ago. Kind of going a little bit off the deep end, going a little bit psychotic, a little bit crazy. If it was me, you know what would make me go crazier than we're already seeing Shinsuke go? To win the championship from Seth Rollins and Priest to cash in and take it away from him.
Oh.
So the first time on the main roster since his how many day reign as NXT champion, Noah?
Oh, good Lord Almighty. It wasn't, he had a pretty good run. He was two-time champion, by the way, because Samoa Joe beat him for the first time for it.
Okay.
Wasn't that long, though.
How many days undefeated? Let's go there.
Oh, as undefeated. He actually wasn't that much undefeated. I would say at least a couple of hundred, if that. He was no Asuka, but I do get what you're saying.
But after having that great run in NXT, he is yet to touch a world title on the main roster.
Correct.
And he's been on the main roster for how many years?
At least 5.
So you finally get your hands on that title, and it gets jerked away from you.
fetches as Money in the Bank goes. John Cena, just saying.
Here's the problem I see with Priest as champion. And a lot of it is contingent on what Survivor Series is going to do.
Which we still have no idea.
Right. Because it hasn't been promoted as War Games.
Nope.
So let's just assume that's not going to be it. It hasn't been promoted as Battle for Brand Supremacy. Although the last time we did predictions or something, one of the people in the comments mentioned seeing local advertisements where they were kind of hyping that.
Red versus blue.
So Damian Priest, Roman Reigns. Okay. Aside from my daughter who loves both men, and I'm not trying to be jacked up to Priest, Roman Reigns, Damian Priest.
Accurate.
Nowhere near Roman's level if they're doing Battle of Brand Supremacy.
No.
So that means you got to get the title off of him prior to Survivor Series. Which, as much as we talk about there's no room for him in the title picture, it's how we get to number 17.
Oh, John Cena.
Just something to think about. Just something to think about. That is how you can get him to 17. And then Cena can lose it after the Battle for Brand Supremacy. Maybe drop it at Mania or even at Rumble going beforehand.
He did drop it at Elimination Chamber, as we know, against Bray Wyatt. R.I.P.
You know, but you still have Roman versus Cody at Mania. And you can have Cena versus Rumble or Chamber Victor for the other title. Maybe have Cena versus Gunther. Cena versus Breaker.
You've been waiting for that for the longest time, to be fair.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at Chris shaking his head, and I know some of these things sound kind of far-fetched, but you've got to think in advance. That's also a huge thing. How long is the writer's strike going to be a factor?
As long as ChatGPT apparently takes over Hollywood, I guess. That's really what it's about.
You know, and if Cena has the strap, you know they've pretty much got him locked in until he loses it.
Absolutely.
They can hotshot a loss for him, get it off of him if he really has to get back to something. Or he can just be taken off the house show circuit. Tuesday through Saturday, he's on set somewhere filming. Catches a flight Sunday to wherever they're going to be. Does a PLE if it's a PLE weekend. Does Raw. Catches a flight back to wherever he needs to go. Or Friday, you know, if he's going to be on the SmackDown brand, you know, since he's coming back there right now, have him do that. But it's something to think about. I really don't want Cena to get 17, if I'm being completely honest.
I don't think he needs it personally.
I don't think he does either. But if Priest is champion, he is not on Roman's level. So you've got to get it off of him. And it's got to go to somebody that can seriously contend with Roman Reigns. And right now, WWE is seriously lacking that star power. Gunther isn't ready.
No.
LA Knight's not ready.
No.
Mysterio is in the B levels. AJ Styles is doing whatever he's doing with the OC.
And Karrion Kross and Scarabado, apparently, he's still stuck in that loop.
Edge is supposedly done. ... there's really nobody that Orton is question mark.
That big ass question mark.
So it's who else do they legitimately have? Rock? I know, Keen Mike, having to rely upon old guys, but they've backed themselves into a corner with this Roman reign, pun intended, that who do they really have for a battle of brand supremacy?
There's only one person, JJ, that I can think of, and it's the guy that currently holds the belt. Because what did you say? What have we been saying? Do you guys remember Royal Rumble 2022? What was the opening match of that card?
Roman versus Seth.
Yes, it was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Believe that. And who won that match?
Seth by disqualification.
Has Seth freaking Rollins been in any sort of capacity involved in competition against the Tribal Chief since that point?
They're like on the same level, but now you got my mind going because
it's the closest thing you got. It's literally the closest thing you got because Roman's legitimately has not beaten him since being the Tribal Chief.
And here's the thing. I personally believe if we're booking Survivor Series, if it's going to be brand versus brand, you got to have that champion stay on Seth. And you have Seth versus Roman, champion versus champion. And this is the thing. Who would WWE book as the winner? Are you going to have Roman Reigns win? Or are you going to have Seth finally beating Roman Reigns at the top, but it's not going to be for a championship? Or if you want to do something with Roman for Survivor Series, how about this? Give us a Bloodline 4-way match with Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Solo for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Survivor Series.
Again, that comes down, though, again, to what the hell out of high water is Survivor Series going to be? And we still don't know at this point in storytelling and marketing. All we got is a freaking red and blue logo. And how many times has that been the traditional logo? That really hasn't led to any damn thing.
And honestly, I've been thinking about this lately, and WWE can do a rotation with Survivor Series. Have 1 year be the old school traditional Survivor Series matches, 5-on-5.
Yes.
The next year can be Battle for Brand Supremacy. The next year can be War Games. Then you go back to traditional 5-on-5. Then you do Brand Supremacy. That way it never gets old. And each year is a different Survivor Series theme because they all lead to who is the ultimate survivor.
And that should be the tagline no matter what in this show's, what is it now, 26th or 7th anniversary. And again, last year it was War Games. The previous year in 2021, it was freaking Brand Supremacy. And then the year before that, 2020, it was more so the cinematic to a degree. I honestly forgot what that theme was. And again, 2019 was Brand Supremacy, where NXT won only because trying to boost a network rating. And it failed miserably.
The 2020 Survivor Series, sorry if I cut you off.
Go ahead, because I don't honestly remember what that hell that was.
2019 was Brand Supremacy with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. 2020, we still had the Brand Supremacy Raw versus SmackDown, but at the very end of the show, it was about celebrating The Undertaker.
Oh, that's right.
At Survivor Series.
In front of nobody. Again, JJ, just saying. I'm just saying. He's just relaying. WWE, you really need to figure shit out. And yes, it is official as he sent the graphic, but right now this thing is schizophrenic like crazy. John Cena will be tomorrow night involved in some capacity at Payback. So you get to see him, but we'll see what happens, whether he has a effect or creates a viral moment. Let's see what we got here real quick. Josh Mansfield having his own little spill here. Apart from Jey Uso, which we talked about, the only one who Roman Reigns hasn't been is Seth freaking Rollins, as I alluded to. Roman will still beat Seth if they face up at Survivor Series. I don't know, that might be a good way to write Seth off. You spear him into oblivion and break his back. But then what do you do with the championship? They can't have a tournament. Hey, there's no PLE in December. Maybe that could be what December season is dedicated to, or what you dedicate up to Royal Rumble. Maybe WWE actually tries and builds a new credible top face of Monday Night Raw. Just some ideas. Do you all think with Cody appearing in the Great Swallow Effect on Saturday and Cena rumored to be around for that PLE, they set up a match between those two for fastest Survivor Series? In our opening sleeper predicting, maybe, but that still remains to be seen. Because, yeah, Grayson Waller did drop Cena at Money in the Bank. And Keith Mike with the shout out to Keith Lee, who at this point, don't get me started on the underutilization of the Limitless One for Pete friggin' sake. I'm just saying. And Keith Mike talking about people that Roman Reigns still has yet to beat, JJ. Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Sheamus.
Yep, I've pointed those guys out a few times.
You have. And they are.
But Roman also isn't there right now. So let's not worry about Roman.
Yeah, but about to say, Roman's not even on this show, which is why people already are going to be like, there's no bloodline involvement.
We know what you meant, Mansfield. We literally discussed that when we discussed the segment at the top of the show.
And speaking of the top of the show, as we hit the top of the half hour, I think we will go ahead and conclude things here. And I will simply say this. Seth retains. I don't think Priest cashes in. I think he cashes in before the end of the year, but I don't think it will be at Payback. But I do think Judgment Day is near for the Judgment Day. And it might be as near as tomorrow night. You'll just have to stay tuned and see what we call, me and JJ, on Super with Mia. So I think with that being said, that concludes this simple but very good conversation session of Sleep Predicting, unless we get super chats. Thank you once again, everybody, for tuning in. And yeah, Josh, I know the weather is about to go hellfire here, so I'm trying to wrap this thing up. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. Mother Nature's a cruel, fickle mistress. More cruel than Charlotte. Charlotte's booking. I mean, women's wrestling booking.
Delete.
Delete. I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow night for All Out Sleep Predicting, where I'm sure it's going to be full of shenanigans. Please don't book him more matches. He's going to book friggin' 2 more matches unless there are. That fucking madman. And also, me and JJ will be calling Payback and having quite an interesting open mic night. Yes, I will be in my shades because my voice is going to be a wreck. But I digress. Been fun as always, guys. And thank everybody for tuning in. Before we conclude, shout out to everybody that had tuned in live. Again, the forum will be in the comments down below. It will be on my Twitter and on the X following this video later tonight. The Nebula of the No DQ Galaxy, including my Horseman and JJ. We'll, of course, get the forum and also see No DQ. All the leaderboards will be updated once this weekend concludes. And then I can just focus on enjoying Impact Wrestling come next weekend. So that being said, thank you again for tuning in. Before we conclude, JJ, anything you want to plug and promote in advance of our watch along and other stuff to come, and where people find you besides this?
Well, like the graphic shows, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams. You can find me on the Twitter, now known as X, at ROWJJ Williams. You can find me on YouTube at Casa D18 Studios. And the main thing that I want to promote, the main thing that I want to hype for this week is tomorrow night's open mic night.
Dun, dun, dun.
It is going to be a doozy. We are going back to the Dynamite prior to Double or Nothing 2022, and we are chronicling in full CM Punk versus the AEW locker room. We're going to be discussing the issues with Hangman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Colt Cabana, Ryan Nemeth, as well as the drama backstage this past weekend at All In London, and how Tony Khan back in May of last year could have nipped all of this in the bud if he had just been a boss instead of a fanboy. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys have your wallets ready for those super chats, because we are going to go neck deep into this topic, as it is the season finale of Open Mic Night, which means it'll be the last time we discuss this.
Once and for all, we go all in on this and all out on everything up to it and bury it in the archives of the largest warehouse possible, never to be talked about again. Forbidden super chat conversation. Simple
King
as
Mike,
that.
and King Mike, I just want you to know, I am a staunch Punk supporter throughout all of this. However, I am going to be fair, impartial, and unbiased. I have even spoken with Jeff. I was thinking about wearing my WWE Best in the World gray Punk shirt on the air. I am not going to wear Punk merchandise tomorrow in an effort to be fair and impartial as the host moderator. So I'm gonna be professional as possible with this. I am looking at both sides of the argument. I am literally taking down transcripts from promos so that we can go through what was said about each and every one of these incidents.
Yep.
How the situation could have been handled better than what it was, and where the blame truly lies. Because I'm sorry, IWC, it's not as cut and dry as you guys want to make it.
Exactly.
Every person in that graphic, if you can throw it up one more time for me, Noah.
Absolutely.
Every person in this graphic, plus Tony Khan, who's not on there because there's just no fucking room, is guilty to some degree. No person is innocent. Period.
Simple as that. It's going to be interesting to see what's ahead after Payback. All right. Well, JJ, TikTok, time is upon us.
But thank you for having me, Noah. As always, for Simply Predicting. I will not be here for All Out, as I do have my daughter, so I'm going to be spending time with her prior to Payback tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great Simply Predicting.
It should be a fun conversation. And again, shout out to the Renegade's Renegade, Natalie. And I hope that she continues to do well, as I acknowledge her spirit as she continues her own way in enjoying the wrestling business. Enjoy yourself, my friend. And you enjoy yourself tonight, JJ, and I'll see you tomorrow night for our call. It's sure to be quite a fun time. Judgment Day is upon us. Chris, always a pleasure, my friend. Again, I'll send you the forums for both, as I alluded to. Again, folks, former Payback will be out tonight. The forum for All Out will be out tomorrow night, following Collision. So stay tuned for more on that. That being said, Chris, anything you want to plug and promote, and where people find you?
Well, you could put up my social media tags right about now.
There you go.
You got my X account, CRods24. My Discord, CRods2423. My Instagram, CMROTZ6472. My Facebook is Christopher Rots. My TikTok is Rots_2423. And my Snapchat is C_Rots17. It's always been a pleasure coming on the Simply Predicting panel tonight, making predictions for WWE Payback. I'll be going there live tomorrow, so I'll be sending you guys pictures throughout the night. Nathan Banks says he'll be there tomorrow night for Open Mic Night. So good luck to him. So I can't wait to go tomorrow to Payback. I'll send you guys pictures. I will be up in the airs for AEW All Out predictions tomorrow. So I'll let you know if I'm going to be available tomorrow. But if I am, I'll be on tomorrow. If not, I'll be focusing on getting ready for WWE Payback. And the next time you'll be seeing us on a Simply Predicting panel is for the month of September, because we got done with Payback. Now we on to AEW All Out. That's going to be happening tomorrow. Then next week, we got Friday, September 8th. We got Impact Wrestling's Victory Road. And then we got also, we will finish the month off in September with NXT No Mercy.
Not my
And
NXT.
My NXT.
Damn it.
it's yours. And we also got the first ever AEW Wrestle Dream event that's going to be taking place on Sunday, October 1st. So if you want to be a part of those panel videos, you could hit up my buddy Noah Foster. You could hit up JJ Williams. You could hit up Jeff Chadwick, Mark Griffith, James Hebert, Jerry Slaughter with 1,000 names. And you could also hit myself up, because I will be more than welcome to talk to you guys. And if you want to get on these panels, hit up us, and we're happy to have you on for tomorrow, Victory Road, NXT, AEW Wrestle Dreams, and many more predictions videos to come for the rest of 2023.
Appreciate you, Chris, as always. Also, hello, Manuel. Hope you and Arlene are doing well. And you guys are also always welcome on City Predicting too. As always, guys, appreciate your support. As always, just from media. Appreciate your support, Chris. Appreciate always engaging with you, JJ. Again, our work's not limited anytime soon. Lord help us. And appreciate everybody for tuning in, whether just for the last few minutes or through this whole shenanigan and conversation. Again, we'll see you all tomorrow. It's going to be a fun weekend. Again, if you all don't know more about me or want to know more about me, know this, for I am but a simple man, forever grateful as a lifelong fan of, wait, what do I call it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress. So if you want to engage with me, then follow me primarily on the Twitter and on YouTube. And then Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire ATW family on the Twitter, X, or whatever. And our social media platforms, too. We just did 2 impromptu back-to-backs, ATW views. You can check out the entire playlist on my simple YouTube. And there will be another one later this week regarding what happens post All Out. So stay tuned for more on that. As always, shout out to the queen of ATW, Amara Jade, who's always proven her worth, that her name is worth more than gold. As Jade is worth more than gold, please follow her on the social medias. Follow her home promotion, I believe it's called, at Wood Green Wrestling. She plays a part there quite a bit, along with many of her friends as well. Follow, of course, MW Productions and our weekly conversations on AEW Spark, Roundhouse Table, of course, with Owen, Zero, James, and me, as we always cover every week all things All Elite Wrestling. As the newest affiliate of the Jeff Major Motorist Mia Dattila, please follow her on Rangers of Wrestling, as she always keeps you in tune with her reviews and her Rangers content, as Power Month just concluded too. Again, appreciate you, pal. Joya! We'll talk more tomorrow, I'm sure.
Ooh, Joya.
Hey, believe in Joya like you believe in Joe Hendry. Just
No, I
Yes.
will not.
Yes, you will. You will believe. I love
Emmanuel,
doing that.
we're doing good. Sorry you joined late. Mansfield and Keen Mike, you saw the graphic. How was I going to fit 2 more people on there? Just saying.
Maybe they thought you could put them in the letters or something like that. People don't
Right.
understand the limitations of technology. Then again, I work in IT, so Lord help my mentality. Again, please follow, become a member today at Cast AD Studios. There's a lot of great
Yes.
content over there. A lot of great exclusive wrestling content, reviews, even play-by-play calls with me and JJ too, as polls are going on right now, because September really doesn't have a dedicated theme, so it's potpourri. So go check out the polls at the members section today, and of course also public too. And follow the next match that me and JJ will call as well. We'll give you an update on that after Payback, if not prior to that too, where that stands. Again, as Chris alluded to, my brainchild, this channel that I love doing, whoever loves to be on here as well. City Predicting, not laying up anytime soon. As of right now, this is the entire rest of the year. But I guarantee you there's going to be a Ring of Honor pay-per-view and something else in between too, because wrestling doesn't know how to give me a break. Damn it.
Nope.
But I digress. And of course, alongside most of these predictings are Jeff Beach and Network Live watch-on events. As again, me and Jada will call Payback. Then me and James will call All Out. Because at the end of the day, the weekend's made, but we're going to have fun with it. Then we got Victory Road. Impact 1000 looks fucking stellar. Let's freaking go. JJ's NXT, damn it, with no mercy. The first ever Wrestle Dream, which I'm very intrigued by. Fastlane and Bound for Glory. Those are the next Jeff Beach Network officially scheduled live watch-on events, subject to change. And speaking of AEW All Out, not only are we going to be the Championship event with Mia, it'll also be on No DQ. So be sure to check out the post-show as well, post-show recap by Aaron Riff as we look at All Out, the aftermath that was All In, the biggest wrestling event in wrestling history, as we will be City Predicting All Out come tomorrow. And then somehow, after all this madness concludes, me, JJ, and or James will come back with a simple take. And I think we're going to do a simple take simply on AEW All In and All as one, and maybe Payback as either a segue, lest we choose to do commercial breaks and further promoting for the fall season for the Championship of Mia. More details are to come, as well as me and JJ's, Lord help us, Road to WrestleMania, retro watch-alongs of the entire WrestleMania history, all the way from 1 to 39. Stay tuned for more on that too. And that's all I got to say, plug and promote and hype up in the meantime for the Championship Network and the Cement brand too. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you once again for tuning in to another session of City Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell so it goes live on demand on this channel, on JJ's channel, or any of the channels in the multiverse of Mia. Hit the subscribe button because I assure you, our content, our passion, our creativity is not letting up anytime soon as I approach my 5-year anniversary in YouTube content creation in October. It's been a fun, wild ride, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm nowhere near saying goodbye, and I appreciate everybody that's been along or have come along for it too. Until tomorrow with AEW All Out, City Predicting, and the WWE Live Watching event for Payback and the post-open mic night, where it's going to be a clobbering time of a different sort in conversation. Thank you once again for tuning in as I bid you all now a fine adieu. So until next time, as always, make a positive impact in life. Good Lord Almighty, is Mother Nature being a bitch tonight. And have a good night. For at the end of the day, as we said in the beginning, we are simply fans of wrestling. It truly is as simple as that. Chris, have an incredible time tomorrow. And as for all of you, have a good night, folks. And thank you once again for tuning in to City Predicting on the Superman's brand 2. Take care.
Stay safe, y'all.
Judgment is upon us.